Welcome to this podcast called Unveiling Her Story, Conversations with a Goddess. I am your host, Julia, and I'm a visionary, mom, wife, mentor, tantrika, truth seeker, creator of more than 5 million euros in sales, and owner of this amazing coaching business since 2017. With my brand, Julia Spiritual Living and the Luxury Goddess, and this podcast, I support you in exploring your womanhood, your femininity, your real feminine force, in a way that leads you to becoming who you came here to be, to fulfill your soul's purpose, be a sovereign human being, and become free, alive, and blissed out. In this podcast, we're going to poke this matrix and dismantle history, to shine light on her story, our story, to explore union and peace inside and out. How else will we operate beyond what we are told and build our reality anew, the feminine way? Let's peek behind the curtain and play beyond this matrix to find out how freaking exciting it is to co-create your reality as the powerful woman you came here to be. Welcome to my podcast. I am so happy. I am so happy to start this podcast now and to have this and a very sturdy and ongoing show where we're going to discuss all the things that we want to discuss. And I'm so happy. And with these first episodes, I want to give you an idea of what we're going to talk about and what it's all going to be about. So I'm going to first dive into the topics and the values that I have and the vision so that you can already feel into, is this how I want to spend my time? Is this what I want to focus on? Because I really value time overall. I value my time. I value your time. So I want to make sure this is the right space for you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about who I am so that you can feel into if you want to be in a relationship or in interaction with me as your coach, as your mentor, as, an inspiration, or just as a mirror, or basically any point of interaction or relation you want to be with or in. And so I'm going to get you that, and then we're going to get going. I'm going to give you a new episode each Tuesday. And I really do believe that this podcast show is going to be an ongoing thing. I don't think I'm going to have guests. I'm not really the interviewer kind of person. I always have something to say on my own. I have a lot to say, enough to say on my own. So there's not really a point in it for me to have guests on. As much as I love people. I love, sharing about mentors or colleagues that I love. That's not I love it. For my podcast show, I just really love having my own show. So please don't invite yourself into my show. You can invite me in yours though, if you want to. And if I do, however, feel like I really want to have a guest on to speak on a specific topic, then I absolutely will invite them. So if you have a recommendation for any topic that I speak on and you say, "Ooh, could you invite this person? That'd be so amazing to, deepen a podcast episode that you did," then you can absolutely recommend someone. We can do that. All right. Anyway, let's get started. So this podcast is called Unveiling Her Story, Conversations with the Goddess. So what I'm wanting to say, if you haven't noticed, I want to strip down this beautiful title so that it gets really appreciated. Make sure you understand me. Unveiling. I just love this word, like the veil. The veil is lifted. The veil that stands between the reality and the illusion, or the veil that sometimes makes it harder to see what's beyond it, right? So the veil is a symbol for me to ask a deeper question, to really question things, to learn discernment and sovereignty. These are two of my favorite words in the English language. I just love those words. And I don't know if you know, but I'm German and I speak German. Obviously, it's my mother tongue. And so there aren't words in the German language that exactly mean the same as sovereignty and discernment. And you have to use a few other words to describe these words, which is fine, of course, right? But still, like, these words are just, I love them. Like, I feel so seen by these words because sovereignty and discernment are such deep core values that I have, that I explore, and that I deepen, and that I live by. That really, this sums up what I stand for. So if this isn't important to you, we can probably already see that this isn't the best place for you to be in. And so sovereignty and discernment are, just amazing. Not just words, obviously, but what they stand for is just so important to me. So the veil. So we're lifting the veil. We're unveiling her story. Obviously, that refers to his story, right? Which is just such a beautiful word game in the English language. So the history to me is what patriarchy told us happened, or what they made happen. And to really question that, to me, is just what we need to do. Like, for me, that's obviously what we need to do if we want to really, really, really co-create for the highest good of all, and to really live our sole purpose here on earth. We have to unveil history. Like, there's no way around it. I don't even understand how people cannot do that. And I don't even understand how people can just take what we are told and say that's what happened. That, to me, is missing the point of sovereignty, of personal power, of self-responsibility. It's just playing this game halfway, like the half-ass. So to me, definitely that's important. And to look at, like, what's true, especially the more we go into what is reality, what is even real. Is this real? Is this true? What is true? What is really true? And we dig deeper into the quantum and reality and simulation and illusion, and how much we really perceive through our brains, and like the little percentage it is, and that we actually perceive with, all we could perceive. It's just so freaking interesting to dig deeper into, well, when that is what we perceive based on what we're used to, based on what we know, and there's like 90 or 95 or 99, like more than 90% of what we don't perceive. Interesting. And when we, believe on what we're being told, or based on what we're being told, and we build our world based on that, let's try out what could be there and how we then perceive this world. Let's experiment how we can play with perception and how we can experience ourselves here on earth. Because what I personally believe is that we are divine sparks, we are souls, we are love, we are from source, we are from one source, we are one, divided into all these souls to experience ourselves. And I do believe that this is a divine playground here on earth, that this is like a computer game that we get to play in and, experience every kind of level, every kind of room, every kind of challenge and obstacle, and really have fun and elevate this place and co-create it too. And I do believe we direct our own movie. This is a movie, we direct it, or, a computer game and we play it. And I believe that the reason that we are here is, one, to raise the frequency of this earth. But I don't believe that we can do that by trying very hard and by being hard to ourselves and by believing that's only one way in this whole spiritual bypassing thing, and this whole, let's bypass our feelings and override our feelings. and make our own feelings. I do believe there's a very grounded earthly way, which I call it's just for me the tantric path that I follow, which to me symbolizes the goddess. I'm going to talk about that in a moment as well. And that to me is really how we live on earth in a feminine way, especially as women. And to me personally, women are innately feminine, and that's regardless of your orientation. That is my truth. And I do not believe that you're going to be happy here. That's not your truth. But, I challenge you to explore, because what's important always is not that we have the same opinion, but that we practice respecting everyone's opinion and even learning from each other's different perspectives. I think that is such a beautiful opportunity that we have. And I think it's a beautiful opportunity too for us to experience peace and to make peace too when we stand together with different experiences and can just respect each other. I think that's the most profound spiritual awakening and spiritual and personal development that we can undergo, to not bypass anymore, to not say, oh, this person believes this, I don't want to listen to her, which, you're free to do, of course. But what a great growth to say, interesting, this person believes very differently. Why would she though? Or, how can this challenge my mindset? Because it's always going to stretch your mindset if you're willing to be open to just feel deeper into what resonates true to you and what you really want to believe beyond the boxes and the constructs that you believed up until now, which I'm not saying, you're believing into constructs or boxes, but what I'm saying is that we all have a certain extent to which everything we believe in is a box or a construct, because, it's this percentage of the brain that can even translate what's available for us to see. So the more we stretch our mind, the more we, really explore what may be or what could be, the more we stretch our minds to perceive more. It's just the coolest 3D personal development we can do. So that's something I want to explore with you. Okay, so unveiling history. So it's never against men, ever. This isn't the feminist journey of, men are it's their fault or whatever. None of this. When I talk about the patriarchy or history, I really mean the constructed way of reality that is presented to us and that suppresses a feminine energy in all beings. Feminine energy is everything, every feeling, every flow, is exploring all truth or all possibilities. And when we look into the direction of conspiracy, which we're definitely going to talk about in this podcast, because I feel like no one's talking about it because, I don't know, maybe they're scared to be shut down or whatever it may be. But I think it's just such an important topic to talk about, because we should talk about everything. Nothing should be a taboo. So we're going to talk about all the things: sexuality, death, conspiracy, everything, because that's femininity. It's including, it's inclusive. Like that to me is real inclusivity, including every thought, every possibility, exploring every train of thought. Because as soon as we say, oh, we shouldn't talk about this, we're suppressing. And suppression is the biggest problem that we have on earth. It's the root cause for most horrible things on this earth. That people suppress other people, that people believe to or claim to have the truth or the Holy Grail, and what the other person believes isn't true, isn't okay, is evil. That's the whole problem, that power is used to suppress anyone's truth, anyone's power, anyone's, anything. And so my goal too is, and it goes hand in hand with my vision, to bring femininity back to earth so that we all individually embody raw, true, untamed feminine force, feminine energy. Because in this way, we are not to be suppressed. There's nothing that can threaten us. We're not going to just believe because a doctor said so, because a politician said so, because your boyfriend said so. You're going to discern. You're going to be sovereign. You're going to really feel and be so freaking connected to your womb, to your intuition, that you always know what feels true to you. And that is the only truth that matters. Not what I say, not what anyone says, what you believe to be true. And that to me is feminine power, real feminine power. Yes, we get to talk about, menstruation and the cycle and sexual anatomy. And we should, it's beautiful wisdom to tap into and remember about our amazing bodies and how we can be in trance and be orgasmic and all these beautiful things to experience ourselves here, and also to feel the sovereignty and the ecstatic being here on earth. Yes, let's explore. But it's the same with feeling free in your expression, in everything you say, that you never have to, bottle up what you got, what you want to say, that you're never gonna, I'm not gonna say that because I'm afraid to. No, you're really becoming so free that it's a gift that you express freely. And that, by the way, is really what I'm here for. Literally, I don't know if you know human design, but I'm a manifestor 3/5. I have the right angle cross of rulership. Everything I have in my design says, go say your fucking opinion. Go rule, go, say your visions. Just really trigger people, provoke, inform, just be in super peace, be in peace with all of it. But explore and express freely. And honestly, whatever I say at this point, I do not perceive critic. It's not emotional anymore for me at all. I just know it's what, triggers what is triggered in the other person. I'm not feeling any of it anymore. Not that I'm not feeling it anymore, but I can't really relate to it anymore. I can't really interact with it anymore. My frequency is, this is my truth. I'm speaking it. That is a gift for this world, just as much as your truth telling for people who want to hear it, right? And the difference is that if I share this and someone gives me feedback that is just rude, I didn't ask for it. So it's overstepping a boundary. Whereas when you do a podcast and then share your opinion, that's beautiful, because then people can find you and listen to you if they want to, right? So it's all about boundaries and honoring interactions and respecting opinions and learning to relate again in just this beautiful, sovereign, healthy way, which we all need to learn again, right? After having learned, one in the relationship is always more powerful. It's this power struggle, or it's power entanglement. So we're all really learning how to healthily relate again, right? Because most people aren't securely attached. Most people are anxiously attached, or any other attachment style, where we really have to learn again how relationship gets to be peaceful and regulated, a regulated experience, right? Anyway, coming back to the title, Unveiling Her Story. So not so much digging deep, where did history betray us? No, because we don't want to go too deep into the 3D realm of getting entangled in stories, in the narratives that we could entangle with as powerless beings. We're not doing any of it. We're going to talk about 3D stuff as well, because we're here right now, and it's just fun to explore the whole computer game and see how it's programmed, basically, and understand it. It's just fun, and it's just cool for us to find our way out of it, because when we understand the matrix, it's much more easy to live beyond it. And what I really want to focus on is her story. So how do we learn again who we really are? The feminine, the goddess, to me is such a profound word for meaning the great goddess, the divinity, all there is, that which birthed everything, that which birthed life, all life force energy, Shakti, all facets of life, all archetypes, all possibilities to experience ourselves, all feelings, all sensations, all possibilities to experience this matrix. The great goddess is to me the reminder of what feels true, what feels right, what incorporates all feminine qualities, which are inclusive and loving and compassionate and process oriented and trusting and surrendering, and also standing in the power of life force energy, the lioness, the warrior, the one who says no, like I'm done, no more. This energy that is so fucking powerful that it is so feared. Because with the lowering, with the debasement of the planet Earth that already was in 5D plus thousands of years ago, and the moment it was lowered in frequency back to 3D, the femininity too was taken, was suppressed. And this whole experiment started that is still going on, where we're shifting into 5D plus again and finding our way back home. And so the goddess to me is the gateway. She's the gateway. When we remember what's true and unveil what is real and what is not, what is illusion and what isn't, who has power, which is always ourselves, always ourselves, always ourselves, and what hasn't, what plays with our power too, which is fear, the illusion of, or the lack of love, the illusion is fear, right? So when love is missing, we have fear. And this whole matrix is fear-based, because everything is always based on, you don't want to get sick, you don't want to die. But when you've met death, which you do when you meet the great goddess, you're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of any outer or inner demons, because you understand it's all one. All life force energy is life force energy. All is love. So there's nothing to fear. And so that's what we want to explore, because then we become the most powerful beings on this earth. Because we become so freaking free. And honestly, to me, the work is trauma integration, is nervous system regulation, is learning about feminine force, sexuality, femininity, is learning about boundaries, is learning about the archetypes we embody. Because most of us have OCD, but we want to be PCDs. That's a new slogan that I'm pondering on. Let me know how you like it. OCD is the control freak, right? Is the disorder of like this controlling being, and PCD's pussycat doll. So do you want to be this control freak? Do you want to be a pussycat doll? Honestly, we all once wanted to be a pussycat doll. So what I just mean is, do we want to be this nagging woman, this control freak, this, oh my gosh, I still have to do this and I have to run and it's not working for me and I have to be this way and I have to people please. Do we want to be this version, or do we want to become the magnetic muse, which could be a pussycat doll, someone who's so much in their sexual energy, who feels so free that they don't care about what other people think about them, that they break free from the matrix of people pleasing and fawning and the automatic being of, yes, of course I have to do this, I can't do this, and really unveil the illusion of that and understand, well, actually, I can do anything I want. And step by step, I can make it real too and manifest it and materialize it. So let's go, right? And so that's what I want to explore with you. And in my world, I have the brand Luxury Goddess, which came to me in 2021 when I realized that how much money I make is kind of special in the coaching scene. Back then I thought, everyone makes that kind of money, but then I found out it's not normal for most people. I was like, okay, well, let me extract what I do. Let me teach on that, because, be great if everyone just is in that kind of abundance. And so the brand Luxury Goddess came to me, that it's not just the goddess that we want to experience, the raw essence of life force energy, all that is, and that we get to experience here on earth. And that if we really go deep, we do die many ego death, and we do experience all facets, and we meet all inner demons, where there really is no fear left of anything outside of us because we already are meeting all of it inside of us. And so that's the goddess to me. And then, of course, everything else, like all the femininity and all the things we could do, all the practices we could do, like yoni egg and crystal wands and ecstatic, self-pleasure sessions, everything that we get to experience here. But then also, luxury goddess to me was this triggering term of let's have it all. Because honestly, femininity is abundant. Femininity includes all feelings, all processes, all experiences, high or low. And the more we try to avoid everything that's deep feelings, we're not going to have the high feelings either. So we got to learn to be friends with all parts of us and all feelings. And so in that moment, 2021, end of 21, this brand came to me, Luxury Goddess, because that's who we are. That's who we get to be. That's how we can grasp what is here for us. And I don't mean, or just to mean materialistic things. I really mean for us to grasp there's a quantum field, and just like you can order things on Amazon, you can order anything in this quantum field. Just you have to believe it's possible for you. And sometimes it's not that easy, but then, we do the trauma integration, or we do the wiring, or we really heal and see what's there to see and feel, and we become luxury goddess because we get to be. So that was born. And then the concept of the witch, the goddess, and the queen, because when I started in 2017 or 18, I only talked about the goddess, the feminine, the sexual energy, because that was my topic back then. All of that was so freaking suppressed that I shared everything about that. But then the more I went about it, I realized, oh my gosh, a lot of this is trauma. Let me learn about trauma. Oh my gosh, a lot of this is nervous system regulation. Oh, this is a trauma bond. Oh, this is codependency. And I learned so much about it that I started talking about more than femininity and sexuality. And then I became so successful, which, again, I thought it's normal. It wasn't. And so I wanted to start teaching on abundance and money and business. And so I did. And so I divided these three, or I had these three archetypes, and I still have in my firm: the integrated witch, the goddess full of pleasure, and the queen that elevates. Because in this way, we have these three sections in my firm, and I usually do seasons in my world where we really focus on one archetype and explore a lot about this. And, I also launch programs then in that time to really deepen this. And so that is something that you'll probably hear me say. And yeah, so you'll know the witch is everything around trauma integration, empowerment, boundaries, learning again how to really love this human experience and to not be functioning or automated or people-pleasing or fawning. Then the next step to me is the goddess, the pleasure, the femininity, sexuality, the relationships, and learning that again and remembering. And then to me, the next thing is, of course, there's always expansion. Of course, there's always more we get to experience. And that to me is the queen. Like, let's learn to be sovereign with money. Let's learn to understand how we attract abundance in a way where it's just amazing for us and where we can hold deep stuff, of course. Let's really get the keys to manifestation, because we're manifesting anyway. So we might as well, love it. Let's learn about business if we want to have our own business, right? Let's learn about spiritual awakening and what it means to really be in 5D plus and so awake, where actually it's all about how grounded you are and how connected you are to earth and your body, and how accepting you are of your feelings and everything. Like, that's real self-love. Real self-love isn't doing tools or any routines because you think you have to. It's not, I just did this practice because then I can check it off my to-do list of healing today. Real self-love is, oh my gosh, I'm such a mess today. I'm going to really hold myself through it, right? Or, oh my gosh, like, people really just didn't like how I was, but it was me. So I'm going to be so proud of me that I was this way. Loving myself is accepting myself like a mom would her child, and to really be this way to ourselves. And to also understand too, spiritual awakening, at least to me, doesn't mean that you're going to sit there and meditate on your third eye the whole time. You can do that, but more important is, do you know how to be do you have conflictability? And do you know how to regulate your body? Do you know your needs? Do you know your needs? Do you know how to fulfill them? Do you know how to communicate? Do you know how to relate? Those are the skills that we need in 3D to even really honestly shift into 5D plus. Because if we just shift into 5D plus without having the skills in 3D, we're just spiritual bypassing. And we're not going into the whole human experience that we can, though. And that's what I want. And that's what I want for you. So, unveiling her story is really digging so freaking deep into real femininity. We're going to talk about sexuality, femininity, death, everything that we want to explore to feel so free. And conversations with the goddess is the idea of changing from my favorite books that you probably know. And if you don't, just go ahead and listen on Audible or get the books, Conversations with God. And I know Neil Donald Walsh already, at least on Audible, he does the voices, or, the audiobook is recorded with God as feminine and masculine and shifts back and forth the voice. And, I love, love, love the books. And I thought it's a beautiful subtitle to have, Conversations with the Goddess, because we want to look at the feminine perspective. What does she have to say? What does the Great Mother have to say? What is her perspective on life? What is her perspective on pleasure, on sovereignty, on discernment, on freedom, on how ecstatic and beautiful this journey can be, how empowered you can feel, how free, how powerful? That to me is what she can tell us. And so it's going to be conversations with her. On my channel at times in human design, I have the highest 3 channels defined, and it's literally how I am. I can prepare sometimes for programs, and I will, if I do a live course, but oftentimes stuff just comes through while I go live, and just really groundbreaking stuff, because that's just who I am as a manifestor, and with these defined centers, it's just who I came here to be. So I honor that, and I love channeling great stuff and sharing it with you. So we're going to do that as well. So again, we're going to talk about all the things, but most important are the values. So if you align with those and you feel like, oof, girl, you're my girl, thank you, you're here, then that's it. But the core values are authenticity, truth. What is truth? What is my truth? Femininity, feminine force, respect, and just really learning conflictability, communication, relationship, next level. This is an advanced conversation. We're going to have advanced conversations. I'm not going to talk about how to meditate and, all the things people talk about on this market. And to me, honestly, too, I'm not here to try to compete with anyone. To me, that's not a real thing. To me, if I come to this market and through this coaching scene and I bring something, I want to bring you my thoughts. I want to bring you innovation, because else I can just leave it and not do it and do something that's meaningful. So everything I do, I want it to be so meaningful. I want to bring something to this scene and to this market that isn't there before, because why else would I do it? Then I should put my energy to something else that is more valuable, because I do value my energy and my time so freaking much, just like yours. So that's why I'm being so super clear too, right at the beginning, what we're going to talk about and the values I share. To me, boundaries are super important, and I do not tolerate any kind of feedback that I didn't ask for. That to me is overstepping a boundary. So if you're ever going to tell me, or anyone's ever going to tell me I'm wrong, or I shouldn't be like this, or I'm a fraud, or whatever, I'm just going to erase it. I'm just going to block the person, because to me, that's not the temple I created. This is all based on respect and, honoring the other person's opinion or truth, or whatever it may be. And I am the same with you, so I expect it to be this way. So just so you know, if you ever overstep that boundaries, you're just going to be blocked. Or if people do that, I'm just very neutral with that too. Yes. And so that's what's happening. And I'm that's very important to me. I also don't like when people say, "Hi, sweetie." No, like my name is Julia. You can just call me Julia. That'd be really cool. I do not like that. And yeah, overall, I just really love when we ask the other person if they want to hear the opinion. And we don't just, let them know what we think they should do. I mean, that's also my 3-5. That's my profile in human design. I just really don't like to be told. I'm just really gonna not listen anyway. So this is really for me to share what I have to say. And if you love it, perfect. It's here for you to receive it. Enjoy it so much. But that's really important to me. So these are my values, and it's all about sovereignty, discernment, again, conflictability. Let's learn to really be in a discussion, to not get heated right away because the other person thinks it's not this way. And I really respect your opinion. Like if you, for example, put in the comment section of YouTube, like, Julia, like, thank you so much for sharing this. I believe the complete opposite, like 180 degrees. Like I love vaccines, for example. That's something I don't do. I think vaccines are not a good thing. So for example, you would say, Julia, honestly, I don't agree on that at all. I love vaccines. I'd be like, perfect. That's amazing for you, right? It's just when you say, oh, I have to now unfollow because you don't like vaccines. It's like, how are we ever going to have peace? How are we ever going to be able to have a conflict if we constantly need to flee or bypass someone having or something, right, where someone has another opinion? And, if you say, for example, well, I'm realizing the values are different, like, perfect, I get that. But if it's this emotional decision of, oh, you see it this way, then I can't be here. It's just for you to reflect that you would react this way in a fight with a partner or with a friend, which is never going to help you become free in this matter. So we want to learn become so free that we're okay with another person not having the same opinion, that we're okay with someone not liking what we say, that we're okay, but we're learning to be respectful and really gaining emotional intelligence so that we can be peaceful here on earth with really the colorful variety and palette that we do have, and the diversity that we all bring to the table with all our different opinions and thoughts. That's where everything gets to be feminine, when we all come with all the colors and it's inclusive. That's real inclusivity and diversity for me, where we say, oof, interesting, and not have to ban anything or censor or be mean, and that's what I really stand for. So that's the temple I build, and I clean it very well. If someone shits into my temple, I'm just gonna, you can't come back, because we don't do that, because it really stinks, and I keep it clean. And it's also not okay if you come into the temple and you just color the temple differently. Like if I have everything beautiful here, it's all gold and white and pink, and you just come into my temple and you paint the walls orange. We don't do that, right? We respect what the other person has created, and if we don't like it, we don't come back. Perfect. Easy, right? Love it, change it, leave it. But if it's not yours, it's not for you to change it. You love it or you leave, right? And you can give constructive feedback. Like I said, like you can say, oh, I see it very differently and I want to just share with you why. Perfect. Like that might be so inspiring to me. But as soon as it becomes something where you're being a missionary or you're wanting to tell me why I'm wrong, we're missing the point. Because I can't be wrong because it's my truth. Right? So it's never about that. In my world, we do not go into the drama triangle. You cannot be the savior for me. You cannot be the villain for me. And you also cannot be the victim. Because I won't be your savior. I won't be your villain. I won't be your victim. You can put me in any position if it serves you. Like, go ahead, do that. Have fun, right? Like, if it serves you, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to try to change your experience with me or of me. But I'm not going to interact in this way with you. I'm neutral. I'm just a point of reflection where you can see yourself in the mirror of me or what I'm saying and experience yourself and really experience who you are, who you want to be, what you want to believe. And that's what all of this is for, right? So I cannot wait to go into all the topics and everything I have to share. So again, it's going to be all about trauma integration. It's going to be about how to really become a free, sovereign being, how to become so freaking powerful that you do not feel threatened by anything, how to be in your femininity and sexuality and be in that beautiful energy of, oh, I'm loving this life. I'm loving this body. Like, this is a cool experience, even though it's, super intense at times, but, we're going with all the cycles. Amazing. And abundance, money, all the things from that feminine force perspective. And because we're talking about all of that, of course, we're going to talk about conspiracy and all things possibly going on this earth and how this is possibly a Truman Show or a Matrix, like the movies Truman Show and Matrix, and just really stretching this Matrix to experience ourselves, to ask deeper questions, new questions, to go beyond what has already been talked about in this coaching scene, and 3 steps to meditate and all the things. Like, let's go deeper and have new conversations about everything so that we truly form new neural connections. Because if we're always just talking about the same thing and a few taboos are not talked about because we're scared to be censored or whatever, happens on this interesting, in this planet, right? Because it's super interesting. I have had that happen before in my German work, where I have started talking about vaccines or about conspiracy, and it has been banned, which is so interesting, which again is suppression. It's again suppressing freedom of speech, and of course it's hidden like in the explanation of we want to protect people. But in the moment we say we need to protect people and we need to regulate, we say people don't have power. We have to do that so that they are not trapped, they are not the victim, which is already operating in patriarchy and the 3D paradigm, which we're not doing, right? This whole podcast, my whole work is about going into a new paradigm, co-creating a new paradigm, 5D plus in 3D or even beyond. We'll see, right, what happens in the next years we're here on Earth. But it's really beyond that. To me, guilt doesn't exist. To me, victimhood doesn't exist. Scarcity doesn't exist. These are concepts of the old paradigm, and they only exist there. And we have to believe them and make them true and co-create them so that they are true. When we take ourselves out of that paradigm and we feel and tune into what feels true to us, we'll find our truth and co-create a new paradigm. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm super excited to talk about everything with you. You can already give me feedback on this episode. You can already let me know what you would like me to talk about. There's going to be an episode every Tuesday. In the beginning, there's probably going to be 1 to 3 right at the start. And then every Tuesday, there's going to be a new episode. So let me know. You can listen on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, all the podcast platforms. You can leave me a comment on YouTube if you want to share anything. I'd love to hear it. Again, if it's respectful, I love any kind of opinion or feedback. You can subscribe wherever you listen. And of course, you can also rank the podcast whenever you feel this is an amazing show. And just recommend it to others. Share it if you want, so that we can already form an English-speaking tribe here and be together in this community, which I love. So thank you already so much. I am so excited for this journey and for everything we're going to experience in this podcast and beyond, depending on what you choose to do with me. And if you are interested in working with me, we currently have a few masterclasses and a bundle regarding all my main topics. There's one-on-one work always that you can apply to, which I sometimes do. Not a lot, because I'm a manifestor, so I really focus my energy. But if I love a person, then then I go ahead and guide them one-on-one, which is just beautiful and just deep, which I love to go so deep. And then we have Luxury Goddess Meets Human Design, an audio course to understand your human design in a feminine way from this whole perspective that I just explained. So that's what's available right now. And until I am really deepening into this podcast and getting to know you, I probably won't do a new offer. I'm just really gonna feel into what's the best thing that I could offer and what you really want, right? I'm not going to just offer something. I really want to make a difference with what I do and really want to serve you. So until it hits me, there won't be anything new. That's what's available. And if you have any question, you can let me know. You can follow me on my other platforms on Instagram at Julia Spiritual Living. TikTok, I'll be available soon. I'll let you know. And YouTube. I think my channel is called Luxury Goddess there, but you'll find me either way. Anyway, thank you so much. So much love your way if you want it. Until next time. That was today's episode of Unveiling Her Story, Conversations with the Goddess. I hope this episode and the whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listen. And or subscribe, comment, or share, whatever feels right to you, so we can let all the women, all the truth seekers, tantrikas, priestesses know that this podcast is here to serve and support them as well. You can find information about current offers in the show notes. And if you have any questions, just shoot us an email to info@juliaspiritualliving.com. Connect with me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find links and social media handles in the show notes as well. Thank you from one woman to another. I deeply appreciate you seeking pleasure in this life and rising for you, your immediate surrounding, and for this whole world that we are co-creating. I'm so looking forward to our next encounter. Yours, Julia.